Listen,
Okay.
it's Monday. Do you feel the vibe? Do you see this financial curve? Like, it's going like that. This is Mufc Realist TV. This is Good Vibes with Good Vibes Jhon, of course. Jhon, Shin, and, we call it Shin Pad United today. Let's rock it. Let's do this, people. It's Monday. Good Vibes. Sales takeover is taking place, but we're not here about talking about the sales takeover anymore. We're talking about the future of Manchester United and the transfers, of course. Let's do this. This is Mick Ruby, Jarvis Cocker, Jhon Shin.
Okay.
Listen. Let's pause this. Neil Ashton, stop spinning this record.
Stop.
The PR spin. Stop it. Stop. First and foremost, guys, welcome to the debutant of Mufc Realist TV. We're talking about Jhon Shin. How are you doing, Jhon?
Good. That intro is something I was not expecting. I thought when you said you were going to do the whole, rock and roll, I thought it was just kind of going to be like a casual. Surprise. Oh, we're full in it. I like it.
Back what we do here, we do the full Monty, my friend. We don't shy away from anything.
Love it.
So welcome to the stream. I understand you have a limited time frame, so we want to focus as much positive energy on you, my friend. Today, you're the guest, but I don't like this financial curse. What we're seeing, it's like you see this sloping. Anyway, guys, before we continue, before we introduce Jhon properly, take a sip on your coffee. There is a couple buttons down below. There's ding, ding, ding buttons and all that. Join Jazz and subscribe. Before you do, we don't take any dividends like the Glazers. No. But we do take your likes for sure. But if you're on diet, it will help you, benefit you, because you will burn extra calories by just pressing the button. So please go ahead. We will be back in 10 seconds. Have a sip on your coffee. It's Mick Ruby here, guessing up with Jhon Shin, of course, and Jarvis. Let's go. Let's do this. Smash.
Has the Premier League ever been more challenging?
Welkom. Dit is mijn home and I want to achieve success. Okay?
And yes, Eric, you did achieve success according to my opinion this season. Jhon, what is your take on Erik ten Hag's first season, sir?
I'm just gonna start off by letting people know if you guys haven't had a chance to had a chance to see me or not. I tend to be very optimistic on most takes, especially when it comes to Manchester United. But I do want people to understand that when it came to Manchester United, prior to the arrival of Erik ten Hag, it was pretty doom and gloom. I mean, we had hit rock bottom with Ali, just not having a good time, and of course Ralf Rangnick coming in to make things even more kind of out in the open. Everything felt very negative. Everything felt very gloom. And I think bringing on somebody like Erik ten Hag, everybody got to a point where we were all excited and optimistic, but everybody was very cautiously optimistic. And I also wanted to stress that very, very much, because our expectations as United fans, we were, of course, as Man United fans, ideally, we want to have our expectations yay high. We were talking about the graph. Our expectations were up here. But with what we did experience, I think the sort of realistic feeling was more so down here. And I think Erik ten Hag, for me personally speaking, bridged that gap and just exceeded all kind of expectations that I sort of had before he actually even arrived and, took pictures outside of Old Trafford. It was incredible. Of course, the third place finish was, everybody was sort of happy with that. I was ecstatic considering the situation that had arisen this season, not just from a Manchester United perspective, but from a Premier League statistic perspective, as well as, finishing with the trophy. How can you not? And the FA Cup final is an FA Cup final. Of course, it was a tough result to take, but this Man City side, I don't want to talk too much about Man City, but it was a tough team to beat. So all in all, it's been a fantastic season for Manchester United. And overall, I can't be any more excited about the future of Erik ten Hag, considering what he's already shown us at his first season at Man United.
So big up, Jhon. Like, I'll let you stay in the Jumbotron for now, Jhon, because for people that haven't watched you before, can you give us a little bit background of who sorry, too much coffee. Who Good Vibes Jhon is? Jhon Shin. I known you from the paddock with our friends from the paddock. We're talking about Joe Smith, Marty, and all that stuff. That's where I've seen you most of the time. But please enlighten our audience to let them know who you are, where you're from.
Yeah, so my name is Jhon Shin. I am based here in New York City. Of course, I first started talking about Manchester United when I was infuriated with the tenureship of David Moyes. That's when I actually first began. I was sitting in the middle of my college dorm. It was a Tuesday afternoon, and I was sitting there, and I was absolutely livid. So I decided to hit record, and I talked about David Moyes. And here we are years later after collaborating with Full Time Devils, being a regular featured guest, hopping on all different channels, signing on with the likes of the Football Republic at the time, being a guest feature here and there, a pundit here and there. And here we are now, 2023.
Wicked. I know. Full-time Devils. That was vintage, wasn't it? Like, that was the times when everyone was sitting, like, including they were sitting like around a round table studio. They had podcast mics and just talking, right? I remember that. That was the good old days, right? And even I remember Terry Flewis, like when he was doing from his apartment, standing in his balcony. That was the earlier days of fan camps as well. So yeah, good. So now we have reversed the cycle, the incline or decline, whatever. I have Jarvis in the middle. Yeah. So cool. Let's hear it for New York, New York. What time is it over there now, Jhon? By the way,
it is currently 2:08 p.m.
Ooh, 2:08 p.m. And Jarvis, what time is it at your place in Norway? Tromsø,
My
Norway.
place, it's 8 minutes past 8.
Jhon, if you haven't watched, we have a trick here. Like, wherever Jarvis lives, like, he in the winter he gets full darkness and he gets this, the northern lights, the famous green lights, the twilights of northern lights. And in the summer right now, it never gets dark up in northern Norway. He's far, far, far up. So later you will see his window, to be honest. It looks like, if it's 2 a.m., 3 a.m., doesn't matter. It looks like it's in afternoon in New York, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So big up to all of you. Big up for everyone that's in the. We have a lot of people tuning in as well. Let's see. I also want to congratulate Nigel Flynn, who just became a member as well. There was just before actually. Even Jhon, before we even kicked off the stream, our community went mental. Like they've been chatting all along, and I'm trying to find this in the beginning. Here's Nigel Flynn. Congratulations for becoming a member. Big up to you, sir. Big up. Thank you so much. And for that, you deserve something very special, and that is we're not worth it, but thank you. Big up to all of you. Oh my God. I mean, alone in this control room, basically. So bear with Mick Ruby here. He's trying his best to reveal, and there's some super chats coming in, but we're going to get to the super chats later because we have a jam-packed show today. And obviously, Jarvis was telling me your deep knowledge about, South Korean players like Min-jae, and, of course, this Serie A as well. Like, we are heavily linked with Rasmus Hojlund. I'm excited. The Danish dynamite, but I understand also you have some South Korean roots originally as well, right? Or am I wrong?
No, you're correct. I'm originally from Seoul, South Korea.
Seoul.
Yes, I was born there before immigrating here to the United States. South Korea, for me, as an American, I mean, I don't want to get too deep into other things unrelated to football, but as an American, it's kind of common, especially here in New York, to see lots of immigrant families who have their love and pride for their motherland. And for me, I was born and bred a South Korean. So as much as, I'm, you'd say, quote unquote, proud to be an American, I'm more deeply rooted into the blood and the country that is South Korea. And that's why I'm so deep when it comes to South Korean football. And it's crazy. I don't know what it is. It's this is why I believe in magic and all kinds of things that are unexplainable, because when it comes to South Korean football, I get so emotional. And don't get me wrong, I get emotional when it comes to Manchester United, of course, because it's it takes a huge place in my heart. But when it comes to South Korea, it's something different.
Oh, 100%. And we have whoop, whoop, Banganjan style. Whoop, whoop. No, seriously, that was a trend. Also trendy, of course. We have John Johnson with a super chat, basically. Like, John with the KFC bucket on the wall. What a legend. What a legend. Big up John Johnson as well. Big up. Thank you. Yeah, what is with this KFC bucket?
This is literally, I wish I was in a studio, but this room is my house, and it's a spare room that I have that I decided to decorate as like a makeshift studio. And I kind of wanted to put stuff in the background, things that are important to me. The KFC bucket is important to me because, growing up as an American, as an immigrant, it was a very tough upbringing, and we rarely used to go out to eat. And for me, the KFC bucket symbolizes like going out and celebrating. My grandfather loves KFC, and him and I used to we used to tear down that bucket of chicken. I'm pretty sure my grandfather and I are responsible for slaughtering hundreds of chickens. I mean, we've eaten so many KFC buckets. So that's just a little homage and like a little tribute to my grandpops.
Oh, tribute to grandpas. You know what? My grandpa is a legend himself. Like, he's a Busby Babe fan, of course. This for me was passed down to the generations. My dad is from Serbia, like, he played semi-professional football in ex-Yugoslavia and stuff like that. So yeah, KFC buckets. Well, we didn't have KFC back in that time in the ex-Yugoslavia. It was pretty much the homemade burgers and stuff like that, called pjeskavica and bureks and stuff like that. But as soon as I got exposed to KFC, man, because I lived in APAC as well. Like, I lived in Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, and all that. You bloody get into it, like, and the wings, man, the crispy wings, spicy. I'm in love with it, man. So big up to all of you. Big up for the community. Carl Dixon became a member as well. Welcome, Carl Dixon. Applause. I don't have time to switch between the buttons as well, but let's just Elian Tainer as well with a super chat. Big up to you guys. Are mad today. Like, Hojlund, Simmons would be great young ballers. Yeah. Simmons. Are we talking about the Kiss Jane Simmons or Simmons? Yeah, big up, Aileen Tainer. I totally agree with you, and thank you for your contribution. Come on, guys. Let's just dive right into the transfers. We're not here to talk about the takeover. We're done with that. Do you feel Qatari? Yeah, I feel Qatari. How about you, Jhon? Do you feel Qatari a little bit more today, or?
Every channel that I've featured on, every person has asked me to answer this question, and I do apologize in advance if I sound bored or disgusted or whatever it is, but I actually couldn't give a damn. I'm more so in the position that I'm sick of everything with respect to Manchester United on a takeover perspective. It is literally a billionaire's plaything that
it's
from an
Squid
emotion.
Games. It's a Squid Games. Billionaire Squid Games.
From an emotional standpoint, it's costed the Manchester United fan base far too much. And for these billionaires to be sitting behind their wall of a gajillion NDAs and all of this crap, and we're at the mercy of these billionaires. To me, it all just screams of like grossness, and I couldn't be any more sick of it. The only thing that I am 1000% certain that needs to happen is the Glazers effing off. I think that needs to happen 100%.
You can say the word if you want. We don't. We're not sure there. So
I'm trying to control myself a little bit here, but no, for real. Just to kind of sum it up, the most important priority for me is that the Glazers are removed with respect to making any sort of decisions, changes, anything with respect to Manchester United, because you can see how long this tenureship has continued to leech off the name that is Manchester United, and it needs to stop.
Yeah,
that's the only thing. I'm just gonna be happy about that, and the rest, I couldn't care.
No, but you will care about don't touch my KFC bucket as well.
Oh, yeah, of course.
This is what Richie Clubsport said. KFC process mark. No, he doesn't like it. So, guys, let's just dive right into the show. Let's not beat around the bush. I know you have limited time, so definitely there was this Jarvis idea to say, look, I know somebody that's an expert on Kim Min-jae. Obviously, we've been for weeks now. I think it's 2-3 weeks now. Release clause has been almost triggered. What can you tell us about Kim Min-jae and why is he so special? Why would he make such a huge impact to Manchester United's spine, Jhon?
So lots of people, first and foremost, are worried about Kim Min-jae in terms of, can he do it in the tippity top of the football echelon world? Can he do it in the Premier League? And the short answer to that is absolutely, because Kim Min-jae has continued to produce year in, year out for the clubs that he's transferred. He's only 26 years old, and as a 26-year-old footballer, he has continued to produce in the K-League, the Chinese League, the Turkish League. The Turkish League is not an easy place to go from a footballing perspective, from a cultural perspective in terms of the footballing culture itself. It is not an easy place to go. Those Fenerbahce fans to this day continue to still scream out for Kim Min-jae, because since he's left, they can. And I did a report on him. They see him as an iron wall that they cannot replace. And that speaks volumes from a Turkish fan. And you know how deep those Turkish fans go. If they love you, they love you like their own son. And they cannot get enough of Kim Min-jae. And they were devastated when he left. Serie A, same as well. Footballing from a quality standpoint, I think it's, respectfully speaking, it might be a little bit higher than the Turkish League. From a cultural perspective, they're both very, very intense. Those Napoli fans absolutely love Kim Min-jae like their own. And he has been an incredible player.
Just look at his stats. Like, he's number 1 in interceptions. Guy is absolutely madman, like a rocket in an ass going forward as well. Like, he will run like a bull. I see.
Exactly.
I'm like, oh my God. So for me, he's just like, imagine you have a Martinez, right? The butcher. And then you have a Kim Min-jae, which is kind of, I wouldn't say that it's a carbon copy of Martinez, but it's that modern center back kind of thing, like good in interceptions, good going forward, press resistant, holding up the ball. What more can you ask for? And some people are asking, like, why is it so little report within British media, not kind of reporting it? But they are starting to pick it up more and more. Like, they're starting. I think it's the PTSD kind of thing, because at the end of the day, like, he has a release clause window that is up in 2 weeks, per my understanding as well. And United has been sniffing around, offering maybe 5 million more to say, like, if you pre-agree right now, we sort the rest out when the window is open. Do you think this got any legs in it, or is it just media spin because it's surely getting louder and louder?
100%. This definitely has legs in it. And if anything, I would, if I was a betting man, and gamble responsibly if any of you are, but if I was a betting man, I would definitely say that Kim Min-jae to Manchester United is a lot more stronger. Personally speaking, a lot more stronger from a rumor perspective than, for example, like a Harry Kane to Manchester United. I think Harry Kane to Manchester United has a lot more complications and a lot more intricacies behind it, whereas Kim Min-jae to Man United, it seems like a little bit more of a straightforward deal. And it almost seems to be like it's more of a Kim Min-jae's preference kind of situation, because there's going to be lots of clubs sniffing for that signature. From what we can understand, the conversation has been going on for quite some time. The interest has been around even prior to the summer. Some sources have quoted it to even January, but it's about what Kim Min-jae at least wants at this point. And for a club the size and stature of Manchester United, I can't understand why he wouldn't want to move to Manchester United.
Simon here is asking a question. Jhon Park surely would have spoken to Min-jae. What do you reckon?
Maybe, who knows? I know from a national team perspective. I mean, I don't know about other places. But in South Korea, the relationship between the sort of the veterans before you and the players, it seems it's more of a revered kind of look. So players like Kim Min-jae, players like Son Heung-min look towards players like Jhon Park as like this, like, wow, So maybe if there was a concrete situation, which I believe there has been between Manchester United and Kim Min-jae, I'm sure his camp would have approached Jhon Park's camp at some point and said, hey, what can you tell us about Man United? What can you, I'm sure there must have been some dialogue like that. I can't guarantee that. I ain't no ITK.
No. It's
just
okay.
purely from a feeling perspective, I'm pretty sure that could have been.
Let's ask Jarvis. Jarvis, a Kim Min-jae in that structure, in that spine, what would that mean for the overall defense?
Yeah, in the last month, when all the rumors about Kim has begun, I have started to doing some research on the guy, and he looks extremely good. What I like about his game is extremely good in pressing and tackling. He never loses a tackle. He's presses extremely tough against his man. But he's not reckless, as we know from Eric Bailly and Royo and other center backs we have had at Man United. He always stands on his feet, and he wins almost every duel. So I think he would be the perfect partner for Lisandro Martinez.
But that's the thing, Jhon, we have a Varane already, but Varane needs rotation. There was even rumors to say Eintracht Frankfurt was wanted. They've been sniffing around our Swedish Iceman, Lindelof, to say like, oh, give us Lindelof. Manchester United won't let him go, right? But surely, with the likes of Harry Maguire being the 5th choice centre back at the moment, he's surely going out the door. Kim Min-jae is the natural replacement to have as a rotational player to Varane, but also challenge Varane, because Varane is a little bit injury prone and needs a little bit of rest. He's coming up with his twilight zone, so does this make sense? We have a strong partnership in that way, or is it just Ten Hag looking at, well, I need to have competition for each places. I have to have squad depth.
100% it makes sense. Varane is one of those players that for me, symbolizes silk. Like the way he plays, he's a very technically gifted player, and he's a silky. If he's fit, I'd consider him that kind of Rolls Royce kind of player, right? More closer, we know that. More closer woven to the fabric of Rio Ferdinand, whereas Lisandro Martinez has been more of the butcher, the Vidic kind of character.
Yeah.
Well, the thing about Kim Min, The thing about Kim Min-jae for me, he screams of both. You know, and Jarvis and I, we sat in Flying Pig United's channel and we talked a lot about what qualities he exhibits. For me, Kim Min-jae exhibits both. You know, Jarvis touched on that point about understanding how to be physical, how to be aggressive in terms of man marking, but also at the same time knowing where to draw the line, knowing when to back out. These decision-making processes for a 26-year-old defender, he's great. But not only is he also good in these kinds of 1v1 situations from a physical aggression standpoint, he's also fantastic in terms of dribbling, getting the ball forward from a progressive style of play. All of these qualities that one must exhibit to excel in the Premier League. And the reason why I love Kim Min-jae's transfer, and I just want to preface this by saying that for me, it's a softer subject, because for me, I would love to. Nothing would make me more happier than seeing South Korean players doing well. And there can be no other ceiling for me than a South Korean player joining Manchester United. However, nothing is more important to me when it comes to Manchester United than Manchester United. I don't want to bring a player just because they fit the bill of what I like. For example, for Kim Min-jae, he needs to do even more so that I feel more comfortable supporting him. And he does that much for me. And for Erik ten Hag, I love it even more because I'm tired of Manchester United just signing players like for like replacement and then they just replace. I want Kim Min-jae to come in and slowly get integrated. Let Rafael Varane still continues to get game time, but integrate him in slowly. Let Rafael Varane get game time here and the rest here so that Kim Min-jae can slowly slot in. And we still have that 1 year of gap time for Kim Min-jae to get acclimated, to find his feet. And who knows, maybe he does so well and he just completely, dethrones Varane in that position. Or it can be quite the contrasting opposite. It could be that Varane continues to just hold that spot with Victor Lindelof and Kim Min-jae needs a full year. Who knows? My point is, I like the transition period. It allows for time for players to get settled in. Yeah, we've done business for far too long where it looks reductive. The easiest example I can tell people is, for example, like Daniel James. That boy was not supposed to join Manchester United for the sole reason of playing week in, week out. He was supposed to join and slowly get himself settled in. But Oli had no choice. He just had to throw him into the mix immediately. And I personally think that was not a good thing for Daniel James. And it showed the lack in quality in the transfer business dealings of Manchester United. Kim Min-jae is an improvement on all of those things. I'm talking from a player perspective, from a team perspective, from a Manchester United transfer dealings perspective. On all aspects, it checks off all of these boxes.
I'm talking about, good point that you mentioned, Dan James, because he became the Roadrunner, Mick, that the cartoon as well. But you're mentioning a very valid point, because we always talk about the spine of the team, including rumors of David De Gea not being offered a contract. I was watching some reports today to say that Ten Hag is absolutely looking for number one goalkeeper, but if he does, I think that will come at the very end of the window, because the overall focus is that midfield and the striker position, of course. And however, it's a good thing that we are sorting out that spine, because that's a solid spine. Imagine you playing with Aaron Wan-Bissaka, right? Spider legs. If his career is finishing, I'm sure Marvel will approach him to say, "Hey, would you like to do a Superman movie or a superhero movie called Spider Legs?" Right? That'd be something for him post-match career as well. And then, of course, you have Luke Shaw. That's been fantastic. Lucas Roberto, they can step in and even been playing substitute, like left-sided centre back as well. But then you have, the Butcher, the Hobbit that everyone was saying he's too short, right? With Kim Min-jae. Imagine that, and rotation with Lindelof, rotation with Varane. All of a sudden, you have that fantastic spine with Dalot as well that just signed a new contract. So you sorted that spine. All we needed is a ball-playing goalkeeper as well, like Andrew Onana. Oh my God, that guy played his CDM role at the Inter Milan's final. One thought was like, is this a goalkeeper or a CDM with license to pick up the ball, right, with the hands? So big up for all of that. I just have some question from Alien Tano as Super Chat. He's one of our regulars to the show as well. He's asking a question. Kim has to do his national service 28 days, ?
Right. So that's a great question. So Kim Min-jae, he is exempt from. So every able-bodied South Korean male must complete a mandatory 18 months of military service. However, Kim Min-jae is exempt from doing that thanks for his heroics at the Asian Games. He's won. When you do something huge I'm gonna just explain it very simply. When you do something big enough for your country, like winning something or winning a trophy or finishing top 3, depending on the categories, you're exempt from that service. And thankfully, Kim Min-jae is exempt from that. Except, no matter what, it doesn't matter if you're exempt. It doesn't matter if you come down and you discover the cure for cancer. It doesn't matter. You still have to complete a mandatory 2 weeks basic training. So it is approximately 28 days. It's a little bit shorter from what I understand. I think 28 days is a little bit longer,
I remember Son
maybe.
did the same thing when it was.
Yes, he did.
He did, yeah.
Yeah, so and it varies from people to people, but yes.
It's a good thing. All right, fine.
I have a question for Jhon about Kim.
Yes,
you know, he comes from South Korea, and do you think he's acclimatized to the European football now? He's been to Turkey and Napoli. Do you think it will be easy for him to come to the Premier League and adapt?
That's a great question, Jarvis. People ask me that a lot, actually, because people are concerned about the background of his, in terms of like, can he get used to European football, European culture? I explain it in the most simplest way of possible. And this is, of course, people have to, I preface this by saying that this is coming from a South Korean. Kim Min-jae has a tattoo on his chest. It is as big as you expect, straight down the middle. It is, I forgot the exact word. I could just completely escape me. I think it might've been like, it's one of those like phrases like Semper Fi or something like that. It's just one of those like huge phrases down the chest. That is a massive tell in terms of a South Korean player, because South Korean players aren't usually the types to get tattooed. They're usually a lot more sort of in the more, I don't know, how do I say the word? A little bit more, they're not the type to get tattoos, for instance. We'll just use that as an example. Kim Min-jae is very loud. He's rambunctious. He's exciting. He's not shy. If you, for example, if you compare somebody like Kim Min-jae to Ji-sung Park was known to be a little bit more timid in the dressing room. He's more of the quieter folks. Kim Min-jae is the complete opposite of that. And I'm obviously not trying to generalize my South Korean brothers, but what I'm saying is Kim Min-jae is a lot more accustomed to, for instance, the Western culture in comparison to an Eastern culture, and he's not afraid of anything. And that's what I love about Kim Min-jae. And I can't show him any more love than I already am, considering how incredible he'll be, not just for himself, but for the face of South Korea. He shows that, we South Korean footballers
100%.
are not to be messed with. We South Korean footballers need to be respected, and he's one of those players.
Jhon, before we go, change subject, I want to do the harder meter. I want to hear everyone's opinion, and we're going to do the harder meter. Guys, this is the harder meter $1 million question. Kim Min-jae to Manchester United. From a scale in the super chat, in this chat room, well, how do we usually do it? Like, Kim Min-jae to Manchester United, what's the probability? Press 5 for hot, and 1 for a cold. Or Jhon, what was your probability to say? Would you say 50% in this case, 60% based on what you heard?
Out of 1 to 5, I would say a 4. I think there's a lot more. I think there's a lot more legs into this, and I think Manchester United. Look, I told you guys in the beginning of the show that I am an optimist. But when it comes to Manchester United transfer dealings, I have been in absolute dismay thinking about how crap Man United have been. I feel like this is an opportunity for us to turn things around. I know the whole ownership situation is an absolute shambolic situation, but I still believe and have faith that Manchester United can secure Kim Min-jae. I think there's a lot more legs to that, and I'm feeling confident.
You're feeling confident. I'm going to go to the VAR room. The guys in there are being amazing. Like, Alien Tenno is saying, Park said to Kim, your ass is going to Manchester United. Your ass is going to Manchester United. Yeah. Viking Ready say giving it to Sen. Kim to United, 99%. Neil Driscoll is saying 5. Jay is saying 4. Alex, 5. It's a positive feeling. Some people saying +5+5+++. Oh my God, guys, you're crazy. 4 from BUI. Viking Red, 80%. David Harrison saying 4 and 75%. Whoa. Kim Min-jae, everyone is positive. 4, 85. Andy Cooper is giving it 5. Simon Hero. Jalle Malin is always the negative one. What is going on there? Jalle, get out of here. Oh. Hey, Jalle, you're a Norwegian friend. You better talk to him and buy him a kebab pizza or something, right? 15% Jalle. What's going on with you? And Carl Dixon is saying 4.5. So big up to all of you. Looks like the harder meter is hot. It's getting hot in here. Don't take off all your clothes because we get censored on this. Be aware of the YouTube algorithm, people. We did a flying pig last Monday, and I think we gassed it up too much, Jarvis, did we? So we're crazy. Some people call us Beavis and Butthead of YouTube, but anyway, we're just normal, crazy Scandinavians anyway. So we're proud to have you on the show. Big up, Jhon, my friend. Some people say ATTV saying big up, Jhon, my friend. Big up to all of you. 27 V for you. Hi, Jolly Mommy. You know, the community is just mad, guys. So please don't forget the like and subscribe button. Please smash it now. It's free. It's free of charge. If you're on diet, of course, you're going to burn extra calories by doing so. You know,
I have a question, Mick. On this Kim thing, you know, he has a buyout clause. So this is a technical question. I don't know the answer. So I ask you guys, you are the experts. If for example, PSG, let's say Newcastle and Man United gives Napoli the money for the buyout clause, is it up to Kim then, or is it up to the club to decide?
Kim, player decide always.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. So it will basically be a auction for the highest salary then.
Depends on. I mean, it's the players, you know, intermediates and agents camp that advising, of course, and then you got to believe in the project and the camp where you're going to be and when you're going to be played. So you got to be sold into the overall project. So I see that, you know, Erik ten Hag has a valid project. You know, he's going forward. He's doing a rebuild. Came third. What is the trajectory? PSG is kind of stagnating. They haven't won anything. Like, you know, why would you play in the, excuse my language, some farmer league, you know, when you keep winning, like, you know, the what do you call it? Serie? What's it called that? French A, right? Ligue 1.
So my following up question to Jhon is how do you see Kim's ambition level? Is he
in the room
for the ambition? Do he want to win the Champions League or Premier League with United, or do he go for the, let's say, highest bidder?
Oh, of course, his ambition is sky high. And the reason why I can definitively say that is because recently, not too long ago, during the colder months, South Korea was playing in a two friendly exhibition matches out in Seoul, South Korea. And Kim Min-jae was in the deep midst of a deep battle with Napoli, both obviously from Serie A's perspective, but also in the Champions League. And Kim Min-jae had to fly out from Napoli. And you have to understand that for South Korean players or for Asian players in general, especially applying their trade in Europe, they have to fly. They have to get on 10-hour flights, 8-hour flights, some even 12. And they have to go get acclimated to the new setup, get acclimated to the new time zone, and then play those two games in succession in a very short, brief period, and then hop back on a plane, fly immediately back, and play with their again. So it's very, very tough. And Min-jae, in that last moment, he had a bit of a situation because he came out into the mixed room and then the reporters were asking him questions, and because South Korea had drawn the first game against Colombia, and I think they lost the second one, and he just looked absolutely knackered. And he was just like, you know what? I'm disappointed. I want to do better. This is like, I might have to consider my future with, from a national perspective. And obviously he's a young player and his emotions were peaking high. And since then he's sort of, remediated for those comments. But his moment in that moment, his number one focus was winning the Serie A with Napoli and winning the Champions League. That was his number one focus. You could see it in his eyes. You could hear it in his voice. You could feel it in his energy. And for a South Korean player to say that in front of the South Korean media, that's huge. And of course, obviously, he's, like I said before, he's remediated from that, and he's, taken it back. And he said, I was just emotionally, what I'm saying. He handled that very, very well. But in that moment, that's a big thing to say. And it just goes to show how important from a domestic club career perspective, he treats those things. So you can clearly tell that he is very, very ambitious in that level.
100%. I'm going to answer some the brilliance of our community. They know some answers as well. Like BUMI is saying also structure of payment also matter. If United, PSG, and Newcastle is going for it, 100% it does. But what I'm trying to say, like, let's say if Manchester United is triggering the release clause, right, and PSG is triggering the release clause, it's down to the player to choose at the end of the day. You cannot just, it's not like a market that you buy this product and it's yours, right? The product has to choose you as well to say, I want to play for you, and I'm convinced this is the right project for me. And, we need a South Korean player, please, at Manchester United again. Come on, please. So I'm just saying that I think this got legs. And Andy Tate is in the house. Good evening, Andy Tate. Good to see you that you found our channel as well. Big up for tuning in as well. Just want to give you a shout out. Newcastle will be all over the deals. This Composite Smurf as well. By the way, Composite Smurf, that dog is so beautiful. It's a Australian Shepherd, by the way. It's got one white eye and one brown eye by memory. So that's big. I love that picture. So that comes down to exciting transfer window. I mean, we are opening on the 14th, which is 2 days away internationally. Wow, whatever. Plus the takeover seems like, yeah, it's not going to be a problem. The keys will be handover. We're going to clear the debt. Ten Hag already knows his budget. He's already operating on the market. But barring with the new ownership, that means you have more money adding on to your kitty, right? Plus you have the outgoings, right, when you're going to sell. And we're not going to talk about the outgoings, but we're going to talk about another thing, Jhon, before you go, and that is the striker positions. Before we do that, John Johnson has a super chat. Phenomenal guest, Jhon. Hope you shall return, sir. It's up to Mr. Jhon Shin to return, but that's what we call it. This is a trial pad where we dedicated the show for you called Shin Pad United, right? you get the joke, right? Shin Pad.
I get that.
You're welcome anytime. Andy Tate said, Qatar Vegas money pot. Yes, 100%, Andy. Guys, amazing. So should we just go and talk about Rasmus Hojlund? I think, agent Christian Eriksen's been there whispering to, Rasmus, Rasmus, du skal kom nu to Manchester United, yeah. You reckon? But the thing is, there's been reports, and I know for a fact that Ten Hag has the same agency representation as Rasmus Hojlund, right? It's not false that Ten Hag has had video conversation. It's not false that Erik Ten Hag has been scouting this player for quite a while. He fits his profile. He's young striker, explosive. He's got everything in his package. He's like a diamond in the rough, or I would say like Rihanna's song, "Yellow Diamond in the Rough." What's the lyric? Yellow diamond, shine what? Shine bright like a diamond. Yes, shine bright like a diamond. So that's Rasmus Hojlund, right? And the thing is, with Ten Hag, I mean, even correct me if I'm wrong. Even Andrew Onana used to play for Ajax, right? He was a Ten Hag player, right? Yeah. So Ten Hag, according to my opinion, was a grassroots manager. He recruited players from the grassroots leagues, right? You had the likes of Martinez, you had the likes of Antonio. Come on, Antonio. We had too many Tonys in the team. Dos Santos, for instance. So I would expect Ten Hag to look the same way, just to go to Colombian market, to go to the Latin American market, to get those players, these gems, like cheap gems, right? And develop them, right? He did the master with Haller, that was a failure at Premier League, but he turned into a prime target, right? So, but it's widely reported, Jhon, as well, that we are looking for two strikers. And I want to mention it as well because it came out in the ether today that Spurs are looking to do a swap deal with Harry Kane versus Sancho. So what should we do with the broken Sancho? That's what we said, but that seems to be a solution. Do you want to swap Sancho for an Harry Kane, or do you see that you need a more mature striker with a younger striker, or a Kolo Muani together, which is 24 years old, together with Rasmus Hojlund?
I think right now Manchester United need to reestablish the balance of experience and youth. I think we have to fight in the present and prepare for the future. And somebody like Harry Kane is the present. That man will get you goals. That being said, the English tax, the intricacies of working with somebody like Daniel Levy for Spurs, it's going to be difficult. And people who do follow me know that I have a very, very unbiased, very, very biased love for Jadon Sancho, and I wish him nothing but the best. But from a Manchester United perspective, you have to understand that they have to do what they need to do now. And if from a valuation standpoint, if Spurs want anything to do with a player plus cash swap deal for Harry Kane, that is Manchester United's bargaining. That's going to be a bargain for Manchester United. They will
our fan base here, Dixon's Fortune, is calling out. Jhon, can you call Kim and tell him we really need him at Manchester United?
That'll be easy.
You have direct line, just call him, right?
Sure.
100%. I just want to read because we are multicultural channels also. This is a guy from Serbia, Miloš Mitić. Hojlund se isplati klauza za 42 miliona, što je dobar cena za napadača. So he's basically saying in Google Translate, like I'm an AI translator, like, I speak many different languages. So he say Hojlund for 42 million is a super, super deal for return on investment.
Absolutely.
But the thing is, if we're talking about Harry Kane, if we talk about return investment, there's no such thing as a return on investment, right? You get Harry Kane right now instead of him. I don't see Daniel Levy like he's got to sell him, right? Because they're getting in a new manager. The new manager want to spend. you got to lose out Harry Kane walking out for free or cash in on him, right? So I see him being sold, definitely. I see him potentially going to Real Madrid, or I don't think Chelsea will get him. No way Daniel Levy is going to sell to Chelsea, even if the relationship with Mauricio Pochettino coming in, Mauricio Pochettino linked with, with a Kane. Potentially, if we can lower down the price, because at the end of the day, Harry Kane has the power. He needs to set the foot down and say, no, I'm going. You promised me last year with the City. You broke that promise. Now I'm leaving. Take it or leave it, right? And just lower down the price and potentially do that swap deal then for Sancho for Kane, because there were some rumors coming out last week as well that all of a sudden tenhag is looking for a left winger as well. So why would he do that unless this was, you see the dots there, right? So the way I see it is, okay, you can do a swap deal for Kane versus Sancho, pay 40 million in between, but the return on investment doesn't really exist because, hey, he's going to finish off his last career with Manchester United. By the time you recuperate that money will be on shirt sales, sponsor deals, all that stuff, the number of goals he scores, potentially winning a Premier League, some cups. That is the return on investment, and then he can go retire. I don't know what your thought is, Jarvis, on that.
Yeah, I would rather have two young strikers.
Yeah,
but I guess you're asking Jhon.
Yes, Jhon also, of course.
No, I agree with Jarvis. I'm as much as I think Harry Kane is of course proven, and if he joins Manchester United, I'm all on board. I'll buy a Harry Kane 10 shirt, or 9 or whatever shirt he's gonna wear. But for me, I would prefer. I've always said it that I prefer 2 young strikers, like somebody like Rasmus Hojlund, who we know is obviously still very, very young, but he has lots of potential, as well as somebody like a Victor Osimhen, who is still very, very young, but has in some ways proven to the world that he is a force to be reckoned with. He might not be Premier League proven. He might not show the same qualities or characteristics like Harry Kane, but I would rather gamble on buying 2 young strikers with a potential for a future than somebody like Harry Kane. That's my personal preference.
Good vibes, Jhon. Listen to me now. And Jarvis. Jarvis is in love with this player. Jarvis has been ranting about these players ever since when, Jarvis? We're talking about Randal, right? Randal Kolo Muani.
It started in January for me, so yeah.
Yeah. Now, this player is young, 24 years of age still, right? Turning 25, right? Or 24. Yeah. French international, scored 15 goals, right? And if I remember, 23 in all competitions, 14 assists.
That's correct.
In Eintracht Frankfurt. Now, you told me yesterday, I spoke to you yesterday, so, expect this geezer to score 15 goals in the Premier League, but under Erik ten Hag, next season after, that goal tally will increase. Now, you've been watching this player quite a while. Guys, I want to throw it back to the chat, to everyone. What if we don't go for the clear and obvious paper signing, like, the marquee sign like a Kane, but Ten Hag goes for a Randal Kolo Muani and Rasmus Hojlund. And don't forget that we still have a certain number 11 on the books as well, that people's going to decide if he's going to go alone or not, because at the end of the day, he needs firepower. That has been his main objective. We don't have firepower. Marcus Rashford alone cannot score 30 goals. We need people that rotate and contribute with different attributes. So throwing it back out to you guys, what do you think about that idea? Instead of going for a Harry Kane with a Kolo Muani and Randal and Rasmus Hojlund.
Yeah.
It seems like it's shaping that way for some reason.
For me, that will be the best move, because I don't think we will challenge for the league next season anyway. So let's build a team. Let's build a team for the future. We haven't had young strikers actually in our squad since we had Lukaku, and we have had like Cavani. We have had Zlatan, Ronaldo, a lot of old strikers. Let's build our team around some young strikers.
Yeah,
give them time. And maybe in the future. But they will score goals the first season too. But we can't expect tallies like 30 goals a season. But we can expect from 12 to 15 goals from a player like Kolo Muani. Yeah. But I'm more interested in hearing John's view on Hojlund, because I understand that he is one of your biggest fans.
So early this year, I did a profile video. I do a series called Vibe Check on my channel, and I do a quick little breakdown of the player. My videos are in short form mostly, so it's a very, very condensed summary on a player. So I looked into Rasmus Hojlund, and I watched him a little bit playing for Atalanta, and I personally love him. And I made that video because I loved him, and his name wasn't really one of those big names earlier on in the year 2023. And I posted that, and he actually watched my videos, and he interacted with both of them. I messaged him. He obviously doesn't respond. Of course, he can't speak on any transfer dealings and whatnot, but he understands. From what I can gather, he understands that the love for him at Manchester United is concrete. Like, he knows Manchester United fans want him there. And he actually there was an interview today, I think he's that released it. I don't know when it was actually done, but I saw the quotes today. He was saying how, like, oh, my name is linked with Manchester United. That must mean I'm doing something right. And I'm telling Rasmus, you're definitely doing something right. I love this guy. I love Rasmus Hojlund.
Jhon, hold that KFC bucket right now, because we're going to do something here. A direct message. You know, I will do it in Swedish. Jarvis will do this in Norwegian. So, Rasmus Hojlund, om du tittar på den här videon med Jhon, please sign up for Manchester United. Nu. No questions. What about you? Say it in Norwegian.
Rasmus Hojlund, vi ønsker at du skal signere for Manchester United og bli den beste strikeren vi har hatt.
That's it. That's it.
I'm going to end it here by saying, Rasmus, I love you. I know you watched my stuff. Doesn't matter if you watched it or not. You are a Manchester United. I promise you, you will succeed under the floodlights at Old Trafford. You will have the best time of your lives. Our fans will treat you like the gold king that you will be. So come join Man United.
And also one more last message in Korean then to Kim Min-jae. I'm putting you on the spot.
So Kim Min-jae is 26, so he's younger than me, but I will still treat him with the utmost respect. So Kim Min-jae 씨, please. Oh wait, I have to do it in Korean. Sorry, the Korean English switching. Kim Min-jae 씨, 제발 맨체스터 유나이티드를 뭐라고 할까? 맨체스터 유나이티드를 꼭 생각해 주시고 꼭 맨체스터 유나이티드를 조인해 주시면 진짜 감사하겠습니다.
I love it. This is just amazing. Like, you know, I would do, like, you know. But guys, remember, guys, if you sign up for us, this is the hymn you're gonna hear. So guys, Rasmus Hojlund, if you're watching this video, hopefully you do. Kim Min-jae, if you're watching this video, please get in touch with, Erik ten Hag and his representatives. Tell your agents, please, we are going places. We came third. We won one, Carabao Cup. We missed out on the FA Cup, unfortunately, but we'll be back next year, hopefully with you guys in the squad as fresh recruits, alongside with some fresh midfielders as well. We'll be cooking with you guys. We'll be cooking a 5-course meal. However, we did had with Weghorst, that horse is bolted. He couldn't. He was invited for 5-course meal. Numerous of times. He came to do entree, but he couldn't finish his dinner. So hopefully you can finish even dessert. So welcome to Manchester United if you're watching this video. So thank you so much. Big up for all of you. Big up for Jhon. I know you're pressing for time. Guys, please, if you have any questions before Jhon has to leave, feel free to ask the question. Or you have more time, Jhon, or you?
I have about 2 minutes and I got a whole ass.
Oh, yeah. That was a great finish with you speaking Korean. That was a big surprise. We like to shock people. I spoke Serbian to Milos here. So, Milos is rambling out. Yeah. Guys, Jhon, all I want to say is hope to see you back on this channel. We had a guest with you. People were so happy to see you. We had celebrities in the house. We had Andy Tate also joining in, sending you lots of love. People love to see you here. Our channel is open platform for everyone. We are all about collaboration with all the, channels. That's what we do. We help each other, if with the Flying Pig as well, considering his mother passed away. So we are definitely there too. Oh, what's your ideal window, Jhon? Oh, yeah, finally.
Oh, sure. I can end on that. I'd like to strengthen our spine down the middle. I think starting off with the goalkeeper, David De Gea, I love him to bits, and I've been a strong proponent of Man United. Me as a Man United fan telling others that, like, hey guys, relax. The goalkeeper is the least of our priorities. But watching that Champions League final, watching Onana step up, watching Ederson step up, understanding that this is one of those things where I have to just put my hands up and say the words "my bad." I think the goalkeeper is position is something that we definitely need to look at a lot more seriously than I initially intended. So definitely somebody like Diogo Costa would be an absolute ideal transfer signing. Center back position, I mean, I've spoken more than I need to. Min-jae, absolute incredible player. Joining Manchester United would be an amazing investment for both him and Manchester United. From a midfield perspective, there are lots of names thrown around, and I think midfield is one of those things that I think will have a little bit more options. But personally, I've been a massive Frankie de Jong fan. I know he doesn't want to join us, and I know that the ship has sailed. But if we can look at somebody like nobody knows. That's my point. Nobody knows. Yeah. But if we can't get somebody like Frankie de Jong, I wouldn't even mind somebody like Enzo Laffi or somebody like that. Yeah. A young prospect player coming in, joining. And of course, up top, I think we need to make 2 signings. I think that's without a doubt, we need to make 2 signings, especially considering the fact that Martial is going to be probably leaving, as well as Vegas obviously not signing an extension, so a contract. So somebody, for me, the 2 strikers I want, no matter what, is Victor Osimhen and Rasmus Hojlund. Those are the 2 names I've been screaming from the rooftops. I know that's going to be that's going to be a massively difficult task. My understanding is that the Napoli president is also a very, very difficult person to work with from a transfer perspective. So he might not be as difficult as Daniel Levy, but prying somebody like their star talisman up top away from their club after 1 season of success is going to be very difficult. But we need to sign 2. And for me, my preference is,
I think if you throw money on the table, money talks. So Jhon, I know you got to go. Angie, one of our community members, saying, Jhon, you're a legend. Please come back again soon. So you get lots of love from our community, which is a very growing community. I mean, we basically started the channel like 11 months ago, Jhon, and we are on the road to 15K, almost hitting 14K numbers. So it's just been a magical year for us, because for us, it's all about being real, being like collaborating with all the channels. Everyone has an open mic policy to come in here, have a say. So Jhon, having to say that, thank you for having your say, and hopefully we'll give back your day. It's still early in New York, but please welcome back and big up to you guys. Please go check out Good Vibes Jhon's channel. Jhon, where can the people find you? Just on Twitter, all your socials, etc. XYZ.
Yeah, they're all, most of my socials, I mean, almost all of them are under the handle at Good Vibes Jhon. You guys can come find me mostly on YouTube, mostly on Twitter, just chatting nonsense and having a good time. Life is short, we got to enjoy it.
100%. Or you can go to New York and just check out to see if you can catch him on the street somewhere.
That works too.
That works too. Hang out, have a beer with Jhon. Jhon, fantastic to have you on. Big up to you. I hope to see you soon again. I now wish you to have a fantastic continuous day on your Monday. Hopefully we'll get some good positive news coming out this week. Let's hope and pray, but let's not jinx it, because footballing God still exists. Okay?
Sure. Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you, Jhon, so much.
Bye. Thank you.
Guys, big up for Jhon. I really hope you enjoyed his present. Obviously you did. You guys have been amazing. Let's see what the community has to say. I mean, people want Casado. People want Jhon to come back, and hopefully we'll get Jhon back as well. Yeah,
let's hope so. Great guest.
Great vibes. And he did rock up with us as well. Like, we all of a sudden we came a 2-man band to a trio band. Like, I don't know which guitar did he play guitar or bass, or what did he play? Because I played drums and all of a sudden switched to guitar.
I don't know. I didn't see what he played. I was so busy playing drums. So
we need a vocalist, please.
Yeah.
Simon Harris, big up Jhon, top man as well. So big up to all of you. Smash a like, people. Smash a like. Please don't forget to leave without smashing a like. I think there's over 100 of you here in this chat right now. And sorry if we couldn't read out everything that we usually do. But, when you have a special guest for the first time, a debutant, all the energy goes on that person. And I hope you felt special, Jhon. Welcome back. Jarvis, any final words from you? I think it's been a long day in terms of transfer targets. Any more news coming out in the ether at the moment?
I haven't checked the Twitter the last 55 minutes, so I can't tell. But it's exciting times. There's a lot of rumors going on about the takeover. We covered it earlier today. So if people want to watch, take a look at the last show. With
we did. I did a podcast together with. It's a series that I've been doing with. Paul White, basically. So we basically created this podcast from a financial perspective. He's been looking into the Ineos side, while I've been more focusing on the Qatari side. So what we've just been doing is gathering forensic investigations, speaking to a lot of people close to the 92 Foundation, QIB. He's been also doing investigation. At the end of the day, like, it's been a hot minute, so we just came together, depacking what's been going on. Basically, what media is saying is not really correct. And now you're seeing every Tom, Dick, and Harry media is kind of backtracking, like they've been listening to our podcast and singing the Spotify hymn shit tune that we've been creating. So that's what it's been here for, to create the educational awareness. Like, it's been a tiring 10 months of doing this. And obviously, no more is more happier and tired of me as a fan, as all of you. I want this to have a resolution as soon as possible tomorrow. But if we waited 18 years for the Glazers to leave town, surely we can wait a couple of more days, like, for this to finalize. So keep your powder dry, at the end of the day, keep calm. Don't let fear and emotion clog your judgment. Always use common sense, logic, and reasoning, and keep coming back. Like, at the end of the day, we wearing the same shirt wherever we are in the world. Like, we are Manchester United. We are a global fan community. Share information, DM, whatever you hear. Collaborate with 1958, unite against the Glazers and all that stuff. Because the protest has been intensified recently with the recent protest. You and me, Jarvis, were the only one that was doing the live coverage of the protest live. Yeah. So we kept the fort running. So, guys, the VR room, Mick, Jarvis, VR room, all legends, thank you for the excellent broadcast. Big up to you, Simon Heron, as well, one of our moderators and members. So, guys, fantastic. We wouldn't be here without the VAR room. We call you the VAR room. So anytime we are awful, give us a red card. But who's going to run the show if somebody gives me a red card?
And if you're good, give us a big up,
Big up, yeah. So I finish off with what Angie's saying, like, guys, have a fantastic evening, everyone. Just be positive. Bring positivity back to your life. Think positive. Don't look back in anger. I know 18 years has been rough, but Glazers out, that's the only thing we can think about. And turning the page, I'm excited about the transfer window. I'm excited to have new ownership, turning the page. And there will be 100 days review, 100% if the new owners comes in as well, to sort of restructure everything above Erik ten Hag. So there'll be some chopping and changes, but not the first 100 days. There will be absolutely chaos if they do. You know what I mean? Because you got to go into the transfer market, you got to sort yourself out, and then look at the overall restructure. So I might do another podcast of a structural rebuild, how it is as well. Like, David Harrison, big up to you, one of our members. You guys have been absolutely fantastic. I'm happy to be part of this community. We are so happy, David, that you are a big part of this community. Stay safe, everyone. Glory, Manchester United for us to return. Guys, if you want to become a member, very simple step. We just launched this membership. We are steadily growing. Below that, like and subscribe, you have something called Jhon as a member. I've been receiving questions over private DMs. How do I become a member? It's so simple. Just press the button for little as, 99 euros. 99, not 99 euros, for 99 cents. You can support via ball carrier or support us, because making content takes a lot of time. And we do this because we love you. We love the community. We love Manchester United, and we want to grow together with you. We are on the road to 20K. If we received almost 14K in 11 months, the sky is the limit, but not without you guys. Having said that, what do we say, Jarvis, to finishing off? We just had our say.
And take back your day.
Yeah, that's a new slogan. We had our say, you had your say. Now we're giving back your day. This has been Mick Ruby with Jarvis Cocker and legendary. Thank you, Jhon Shin. Please come back. See you later, and talk to you tomorrow, hopefully. What are we doing tomorrow? Any plans?
Tomorrow we're doing a show with Cass.
Cass, never a foul.
Never a foul, Cass.
Never
doing a transfer show.
Yeah, we are. So, guys, tune in tomorrow. Check out the links. We will post that later on. So now we'd really give you back today. This has been Mick Ruby, Jarvis Cocker. Like and subscribe. Bye for now, guys.
Peace.
Bye. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching Mufc Realist TV. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow us on the socials.